Welcome, everybody. I'm Joe from the Game House. Today we'll be doing a New York Jets 2025 NFL mock draft. The Jets are up in our 2025 NFL mock draft series. As a reminder, we'll be going through every NFL team, doing a mock draft for them before free agency, and then we're going to try to do another one after free agency. The Jets have the seventh overall pick, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. We're using the mock draft database simulator because I like the way it meshes big boards from across the internet together to make their own big board, and we'll also be declining all trades with this mock draft. So the Jets are an interesting team because it's hard to tell whether they're going to, keep some of these guys around, whether that be, Aaron Rodgers or Devontae Adams. This is a scenario I don't think is going to happen. I don't think Abdul Carter is going to last to seven, so we could take him. We might take him, but we also are going to look at some of the other needs they might have. Maybe offensive tackle Will Campbell, although he could move into guard. Michael Williams, Malachi Starks kind of shore up the back end of that defense. I think we got to take Abdul Carter if he falls. I don't think it's realistic, but especially because they've spent so much draft capital on edge rushers and they have some good young ones. But I don't know if you can pass that up at that point, especially at this rate. Maybe Aaron Rodgers comes back, you help that defense out a little bit more, and hopefully the offense gets a little bit better here too. Now we wait for pick 42, and we'll see what's available here for the Jets to maybe improve that offensive line, um, maybe the defensive line as well. Let's go Ariante Ursary out of Minnesota, a guy that's been on the radar for a while, a player that I think could maybe start right away at right tackle. Tyron Smith was at left tackle last year. Olu Fushanu is a young tackle they have too that they drafted last year. So we'll see. I think they can figure out the tackles by taking Ariante Ursary, whether they bring those two guys back or not. Next pick up, we have 92 and plenty of options here. Um, let's go Kevin Winston Jr. out of Penn State just to get another safety for that back end. Chuck Clark didn't play the best last season, so maybe getting a guy who can maybe fix, kind of get into the rotation will be good. And then I think we got to go Darius Alexander with this one out of Toledo at pick 109, a guy who's rising up draft boards, help that interior of the defensive line, maybe take over for Javon Kinlaw, who didn't play well last year. But he's playing really well right now and showing out at the Senior Bowl. So we'll see how that goes. And then we have pick 146. And the Jets are they're a tough team to do a mock for just with how much is up in the air. But we'll try to do our best for them. Let's go Garrett Dellinger, the interior offensive lineman at LSU, a guy who's coming on lately and could be a very good player, but still gives us some flexibility for how we're going to use our picks. But you really help that offensive line depth, which is going to be paramount if you bring Aaron Rodgers back, or even insert a young rookie in there too. So we'll see how that kind of shakes out for us. Next one up, let's do Mello Dotson, the corner out of Kansas. Get just more depth at these positions. We're at pick 157. Not really expecting these guys to start, but maybe contribute on special teams, maybe develop over the next couple of years, and then start down the line. Next one up, there's a lot of running backs on the board. We could take Jeffrey Bossa just as a linebacker who could play special teams for us. Could pick Kyron Lacey, who has some legal troubles. I think we're going to go Jeffrey Bossa out of Oregon. Again, get someone who can play special teams to start and maybe develop into something more down the line. And then we're going to go to our last pick here at 210. Plenty of options of what we could get. Um, I'm high on DJ Giddens. I'm high on Ricky White, I think, when it's all said and done. Let's go Ricky White, wide receiver out of UNLV. I think he's got some good speed. I think he's a little bit underrated on this, and falling at 210, I think is a good value. He has experience on special teams. He blocked a lot of punts last year, so getting a guy like that late who can maybe make an impact on your team next year, even if it's just special teams, very, very good pick there, I think, would be for Ricky White. So let's go back through this and see who we have in this mock draft. We have Abdul Carter falling to 7. Probably not realistic, but if he falls, we are going to take him. Number 42, Ariante Ursary, the offensive tackle out of Minnesota. That offensive line, if Aaron Rodgers does come back. Again, the mock draft we do after free agency is going to have a lot more answers than this will. 92, safety Kevin Winston Jr. out of Penn State to shore up that back end. Darius Alexander, the defensive lineman from Toledo, a guy who's been rising lately. And then another one who's been rising, Garrett Dellinger, the interior offensive lineman out of LSU. Mello Dotson, the corner out of Kansas. Jeffrey Bossa, the linebacker out of Oregon. And then Ricky White, the wide receiver out of UNLV. So that's the mock draft. I kind of like it. Let me know what you think of the picks below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.